what are we gonna do, you guys? I wish we could review things on the internet for a small audience.
Man, I don't read books. I don't watch movies. I don't want to review anything. I got nothing to review. What could I review?
I think I have just the thing, but I can't tell you guys about it until the clock strikes 12 and I am reborn in the new moonlight. What a big freaking deal it's going to be.
Gonna buy myself a sport.
I'm Christian Camaro of Lampcast fame. I am also the founder and CEO of Music Incorporated. You're probably wondering, wow, I thought that was a thing as soon as people discovered they could go. Wrong. It actually started in 2004 when I got my first computer. I thought in 2004 when I got my first computer, I thought about it and I said, wow, so we've got movies and we've got books and we've got games, but we should have movies for sounds because I can go, listen to that. So I came up with an instrument, much like a tool. And the nice thing about a tool is that you can repair things. And I repaired my broken heart when I said, I can do anything. And I did this. I said, this is a C chord. And then you can say, this is an A minor 7. And you can do a lot with music. And I did a lot with music because when I was in 2004 and I was 2,400 years old, I was really sad because I was a very old person, and now I don't breathe the same way as I used to. I actually am amphibious now, and it was really hard. It was a really big adjustment. So I said, well, I got all this wood and shit in my shed store, and I said, well, I have a bunch of steel wires, garrote wires, in fact, because I used to work for the government. And I went ahead and I said, I'm gonna put these garrote wires, and I'm gonna put increments on them, so that way, I can make a sword, because I really like samurais. And that's actually the inspiration for one of the songs that I wrote. It's called Samurai Sword by The Microphones. And it's a really good song. So I wrote on the guitar, I said, well, I can just make sounds because I can do that. And so then I said, well, it's time for me to get a computer. And I got a computer. And the year was 2004, and computers were very expensive back in 2004. So I got a Windows Macintosh, Windows 10, 1990 Windows 10 410. And I said, okay, listen, I talked to my friend. My friend is H.P. Lovecraft, and he also cannot die. I actually wrote Shadow over Innsmouth, but I felt bad for him because he was racist, and I said, I'm going to write this story about love and acceptance. I'm going to give it to you so you can publish it, so maybe you'll learn a thing or two. And so I was with my best friend, H.P. Lovecraft. He's not really my best friend. I don't really like the guy that much. My best friend is J.R.R. Tolkien. And I gave him, and and we got a computer. We got that specific computer, and I went ahead and I fucking turned it on or something. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it because it was so beautiful. And I saw the Windows startup screen for the first time, and I said, wow, that's beautiful. That's what I wanted. That's what I love. And then I downloaded, I didn't download it. I actually invented MuseScore because I had to invent music notation, and I'm still not good at it. Some people have gotten better at it than me, but I started it, so I said, well, I can count to 4. So I said 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and that's a 16th notes. And you can go a little bit lower than that, but I disavow that. I think once you get to 16th notes, that's it. So there's no 32nd notes, there's no 64th notes, there's no 256 notes. And I created standard music notation, and I did everything with that. and I was doing it on my computer. It was all in one Microsoft Word document. And but then H.P. Lovecraft came home, and he was covered in this mysterious black goo, and he said, I'd been swimming in the lakes between Arkham and Ipswich. And I said, oh no, that's not good. Those are the places that I wrote about in Shadow over Innsmouth, and that's not good, because now you're one of the deep ones. And he vomited on the ground, but it was a dark black vomit. And he said, oh fuck, man, I ate too many. I had Chipotle, and it really didn't go down the right pipe. And then so the black goo, it was a lot like the symbiote from Sonic Adventure 2. And so the symbiote started crawling up the computer, and then it got inside the computer's hard drive, and it said, the computer, it grew up. It got bigger and bigger and bigger until the whole entire shed was just the computer, and now the shed was a part of the computer, and the computer was filled with wood chips and stuff, and my lawnmower and my Nerf guns and stuff, and my sleds, and so we had to get out, or else we would become part of the computer too. So, but then the computer, it didn't want to be called a computer anymore, and it looked at me and it said, I am the machine. So, I was like, oh man, that's not good. And so I took my battle axe. It wasn't actually a battle axe. I was a fireman for the government, because I worked for the government, and I started whacking away, and then it said, fuck, stop doing that, don't hit me, stop throwing shit at me. And then, so I said, okay, let's come to a deal. And then he was like, okay, well, you give me a proposition, because I don't think I can really, I'm not in a position to bargain right now. So I said, okay, I have this idea that we do, like, movies and like video games and books and stuff. I think we should do that, but for sounds. And he goes, wow, that's actually a pretty good idea. That's kind of cool, man. I'll help you out with that. And he said, I'll do that right now. I got a ton of CDs in my trunk. And then he went in the back of his 2003.4 Subaru hatchback, and he got all of the CDs. And he said, okay, well, let's do something with this. And then I was like, well, can I program you? And he goes, yeah, dude, totally. I got this keyboard. And then I put the USB drive into him, and he goes, and then the machine goes, okay, well, now you're in. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna download music, and then I'm gonna download some music, and then he goes, okay, well, how about we get this guy, and and I heard him talk once. His name is David Bowie, and so I said, okay, let's get David Bowie, and I called David Bowie on the cell phone, and he said, okay, I'm gonna come down, and I got one vocal sample from him. He burped or something. He went and he said, fuck, I think I might drawn blood or something, but from that one vocal sample and from this here machine, I got I got every single sound that's ever, the machine was able to make it into notes. So I just put it all in the machine, and then the machine was like, okay, I got like 32 CDs. So, he puts out 15 songs on each CD. That's a lot of songs for like 30 minutes of work. So, David Bowie was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to work. And the machine was like, well, I'll just be in the backyard. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go to Office Max and I'll get some CDs. And so I went to Office Max and I got some CDs, and I just it just kept putting stuff in. So the head of that happens for a while, and I'm passing them out at work. I'm passing them out at the dollar store where I work. And people, word gets around pretty quick. So, gets up to Boston, and then the head of Entertainment Weekly, he comes down and he finds where I live, you know, in the shed shack next to the machine, and he goes, "Hey man, I got a proposition for you," and I'm like, "Oh wow, man, you're the head of Entertainment Weekly. That's pretty crazy." And he's like, "Okay, so you know, I heard that one song that you wrote. I think it's Baba O'Reilly. You know, and I really like that song." And I got a couple of people, you know, I think they can do what you do, you know. So, you know, of course I built the bass and I built the drums and I built singing and and you know, we recorded, it was the summer of no, it was actually the fall of 2004, right? You know, school started up again. I was in my freshman year of college. I was just started going to school, and and so we recorded Bob O'Reilly, huge, massive hit. And then the head of Entertainment Weekly is like, "Dude, how'd you record this? Like, how'd you write this? This is incredible. You did like for music, you did like movies and video games and books and stuff, but you did it for sounds." And I was like, well, it just came to me. I was just, you know, I've been alive for 2,400 years, so I just thought about that. And he's like, you know, you're a good guy. And I was like, yeah, thanks. But, you know, our relationship didn't really exist that good because I would just send, you know, I would just go to Office Max. I was at school, so I didn't have enough money to buy a lot of CDs, but I tried. You know, I get like 20 CDs a month, and I give them up to him. That's a lot of songs. That's a lot of music. So, you know, but he's like, well, you know, you explain to me how the machine works, but all this is incoherent. All this is really incoherent. It's just a bunch of nothing. It's just a bunch of sounds, you know? That's the interesting thing, is that a lot of noise music, that, you know, I'll get to this later, but a lot of it just ends up in the garbage. Like, 95% of the music that I put into the machine, it comes out and it's entirely incoherent, because it's just a mixture of time signatures and notes and tones. So, you know, and words, too. So, you know, it's incredible when a song has a sentence. That's like a really big deal when it's got a sentence. So, you know, things like Merzbow, those are mistakes. Those aren't right. That's not supposed to be there. But, you know, to each his own. But, so, the head of Entertainment Weekly is like, I gotta, you know, unless we can get more CDs. And he was a small-time guy at this time, right? The year was 1976. Entertainment Weekly just started. So, we were like, okay, we're gonna get CBS. We're gonna help them. So I wrote the jingle for CBS. And then...
Did you write it, or...?
Yeah, I wrote it.
Come out of the computer?
No, I did this one. I did this one personally. That's the only thing I've done personally.
The CBS jingle is the only piece of music that's ever been written organically.
But then CBS was like, we got a whole warehouse full of old CDs that we used to do in the Vietnam times. It's like, oh, that's fucking great. I'll just put them in the machine. So I put them in the machine, and the machine was like, ooh, man, okay, that's a lot, but I guess I can sustain this workload. So, you know, by the end of the month, we had 17,000 CDs, and that's like, you know, that's a lot of songs, because every single CD had 15 songs on them. So, you know, a lot of it was incoherent, but, you know, it was a good proof of concept, because out of those CDs, like one or two songs, like, was a song. So, you know, I came up with this deal. I was like, you got airplanes, so we're gonna drop the airplanes in them. We're gonna just throw the excess CDs in the Marianas Trench. You know, I'll give you the good stuff, and then like that's how we get rid of the CDs. So, you know, people are like, oh, fuck Baba O'Reilly, that's a good ass song. You know, I like that song a lot, and so you know, they get that song. I love this song. So, you know, it's already a hit. You know, CDs aren't that expensive, so it was easy, you know, you just keep throwing them in the ocean, you know, you throw the CDs in the ocean, and then you just fucking, you know, like you make money off Baba O'Reilly. And, so then, you know, and I've just been, I'm actually, this is me today in 2014. I think we've written at least 1,600 songs. all the music in the world. Because you know, I'm the proprietor of music. You know, so we have that, and we are filling up the Marianas Trench. It's visibly, we've made a dent, or I guess the reverse of a dent, because it's going up more. You know, I'm very proud to say that I've written 1,600 songs. I am very proud to say that, you know, some people get mad at me. Sometimes people are like, hey man, only like 99%, only 1% of your music is actual music. The other 99%, it ends up at the bottom of the ocean. And, you know, I'm proud to say that I contribute 10% of the world's waste. You know, I've just put it in the ocean. And I'm proud to say that because I'm a working man. I've made $10 off of this music thing. And, you know, and I spend a lot of time down at the library because I don't have a house. I do a lot of reading. And, that's my story. Stay tuned to the live.
Wait, say I've written every song ever.
I've written every song ever.
What?